Hello everybody, it's Conan here, and today I just have a very different Minecraft video. I think it was in last Challengecraft video, I made mention about a threat to do like a how to make pretty builds video, and this is not a pretty build. This is probably what you would make on your first day in Minecraft, and we're going to make this house pretty in stages. To do that, though, we should probably talk a little bit about what makes it ugly. I'm not going to do interiors. I'm just going to do exteriors in this video. If this video gets a lot of good response to it, then I'll probably do a video talking about interiors or talking about caves or some other thing that people commonly do, even on the server, that is just, well, it's utilitarian, and utilitarian is fine, but utilitarian is not fun to look at. So there is a place for utilitarianism, but there is also a place for things that look pretty. Usually, a farm, it looks just fine the way it is, you don't have to pretty it up. But a house, it should look pretty. It definitely should. This is where beauty comes in, and really is important. Or things that you're going to spend a lot of time looking at, like if you're going through a really long cave or whatever, it should look pretty. You shouldn't be spending your time looking at something ugly. Well, anyway, let's get straight into this. So what makes this build so bad? Well, first of all, it's flat. It is so flat. It's just a cube. So the first thing we can do is add a roof, right? So here we go, boom, add a roof, and yeah, okay, it looks a lot better actually, but there's still much to be desired. So what else can we do? Well, this texture is all just very homogeneous, and more importantly, why are we clearing out the ground, making it all flat? It'd probably be a good idea to leave your terrain the way it was instead of making it all flat, because when you do that, it looks unnatural and very artificial. So, oh, and another thing is this roof has no weight to it. It's very... what is that? That doesn't look real. A thing about making things look beautiful is trying to imitate real life. People and engineers and artists have spent a lot of time in real life making things look nice and to work well. And so copying what they've done in real life really shines through. So this roof does not look real. This house just doesn't look real. What can we do to make it look more real? Well, we can give it some terrain, and we can make the roof have some weight to it. So here's our terrain, right? And our roof has some more weight to it, and all I've done is put stairs upside down. I've also broken up the texture, something I mentioned a little bit as well. And yeah, this looks so much better. Like, just give a real quick comparison. They look really a lot better with a broken up texture and a heavier roof. Though, again, this terrain looks really artificial. It could do with some flowers and some grass. Make it look like it belongs on the terrain rather than that the terrain just was there for the house. But rather that the house was placed on it, not just all of it artificial. Another thing is this is very flat, very two-dimensional. Look at this. That just doesn't feel right. It's very bland. So dimensionality is very, very important. Here we go. We've got some dimensionality to it, and look at that. That looks so much better. Once you have a 3D facade going on, it looks a lot better. We've replaced the glass blocks with a glass pane. That gives it some more dimensionality as well. We've made the roof less spire-like. It's a lot flatter. The house looks like it was placed on a hill and it was built there, rather than the hill and the house just falling from the sky. Still, there's a lot to be desired here. Even though it looks like it was built on this hill, it looks also a lot like it just fell out of the sky as well. It doesn't belong on the hill. It doesn't mold into it. So we got to fix that as well. So this is, here we've extended the grass so that it looks more like it belongs as a part of this hill. We've given it some stepping stones so that the house extends out. We have a fence around the property so that it looks like the property belongs, that somebody has claimed this hill and not just built a house on it. The house extends through these planks that just kind of spill over. That's really important as well. The house itself hasn't been altered, but as you can see, it already looks like it belongs. It belongs on that hill. But it lacks substance, it lacks character, it lacks what I would call story. So let's add some story. And the important thing here is that you decide on a narrative and then you make your build follow that narrative. So here we have 2 graves. What's going on here? Well, maybe it's previous owners. Maybe it's your character's mother and father. They died of dysentery or old age. Who knows? But we've got some graves going on, and and that is my story though. Is the dysentery, and so things just kind of follow that. That means that this is a generational home, and so it's kind of run down. It's breaking down a little bit. The fence doesn't always connect, and whatnot. We have a well because as they were getting older, they didn't want to walk into town to get their water, and so they built a well closer by that they could just go out and get as they were getting old and feeble. And this well, of course, is also kind of just crumbling with time, and it's very lived in, but there's still something else we can do. This roof just looks very I don't know how to describe it. It looks fake. It looks too... It doesn't fit the build, right? So what we do is we just hammer it up a little bit, make it fit the build. Now, of course, what I've done here is I've taken a wood plank house that's all the way down there and made it pretty. Now, with the wood plank house, what I immediately thought was, oh, just a house on a prairie, that kind of thing. And that's fine, right? You can do a modern build, you can do anything that you want. You could do a castle, you could do Shakespeare's house, you could do anything you wanted. But these techniques still hold true. Just make it fit into the terrain, make the terrain part of the build. Give it dimensionality. That is one of the most important things. And then the most important thing is give it a story and make it fit that narrative all the way through. When you have a narrative to your build, it suddenly has character. It belongs in the world. Otherwise, it just kind of exists. So one last note, this is really short, is these end rods. I think that they are the ugliest thing in the entire game. Literally. So ugly, in my opinion. And I've seen people who love to put end rods everywhere. So if you do put end rods everywhere, if you love end rods, make it a part of the building. Like this. They're a part of the build. The end rods are still there. They're providing the light, but they're part of it. It has dimensionality. The end rods aren't just there, and this has a nice texture to it. Another thing that you'll notice is I put in this cracked stone and just kind of sprinkled it around. That's another technique. You'll see that I battered up the walls over here with these wood planks. It's really difficult to break up the texture too much. And so I did that by adding some staircases and stuff. But yeah, you can compare and contrast. In one build, in one corner sample, the end rods don't belong there. They detract from the build. But here they add so much to it, and they belong. Anyway, so this is my make things pretty video, how to make exteriors a lot better, just a quick overview, and there's a lot more that I can go into, a lot more detail, and what have you. But that's only if this video gets nice reviews. If it doesn't, then it's probably because people a little bit miffed about me being a jerk or whatever, and that's fine, and I won't do another video like this. But I think it's important to bring out, because yeah, I'm a little bit tired of looking at builds like these or that. There's so much more that you can do. Alright, well, until next time, I'm Conan Horus. Have fun.